I'm gonna stop insulting people and we're gonna knit. First, I'm gonna close that door so I don't have to hear Damien screaming. And I'm also gonna grab a tissue because my nose is runny, as per usual. Hang on. I did see the cat couch. Indiana sweet corn. Psh, Ohio sweet corn's where it's at. I'll die on this hill. Indiana blackberries are better. I'll give you that. I'm looking for things. Here we go. This is the finished cat couch. How adorable is this? It is so cute. It even has little ruffles along the bottom. I know you complained about running out of colors and having to switch colors, but I think it looks so 3D with the different color shadings. I think it's amazing. And then here's someone breaking in the cat couch illegally. An illegal cat couch breaking in. But so cute. So cute. Oh, that was another reason I felt like we were the same person, because I had dachshunds growing up. We are now cat people, but I had dachshunds the whole time we grew up. And I was like, she's living my life. But in a good way. All right, let's get... So I figured out the last time we did this, I figured out that the camera had not focused, like, at all. Because the autofocus is not a thing on this iPhone. And I was very upset about this. And, your mini dachshund loves it? Okay, I thought that was a standard, so it's a mini. That brings it in even better into scale. So here we go. Hang on, let's get... All right, this is better in focus. There we go. See, I had to manually tap the screen for focus, but here we are. This is the beginning of our floof to foot sock in our hand spun. The gorgeous kind of marley blue bits. Ooh, and the purple's showing up. So you guys can kind of see that it's like a purple, then a blue, and then a pink. And then we're kind of going back to like a purple and then a pink. It is very cool. Yay. Okay, you guys can see it. This is excellent. Excellent. Allie, enjoy your lurk. Enjoy dinner. Have fun. Take care. Let's see. I feel like we're zoomed in a little too much. See if that works out better. That's a little better. It's a little strange. I'm seeing it a lot clearer than you guys are, but this is better. Better. You want to eat that sock? Heck yeah. Well, you haven't missed much. Tuesday and Saturday last week, we did not stream. So I only streamed Thursday, where we cast the sock on. And our hand spun. And our nummy nummy hand spun. Let me do this. Let's see. We're gonna test this. Let's see if this is any clearer. That's a little clear. Maybe we'll try this. Oh, hello. So let me do this. I know. I'm all over the place, guys. Sorry. We're trying out new tricks. This is sock 1. This is Thursday's progress. We have not made much progress. So we cast it on Thursday and have just started. Also, hello, Pixie. This is sock number 1. So we're just hanging out. We did the toe. We did a couple. There's my marker for where the toe ended. And then we did a couple rows. And now we're gonna hang out and we're gonna keep knitting. This is just a plain old vanilla sock because I want it to super duper show off the hand spun. I want the yarn to be the star. Oh, hello. There goes my retainer. JK. Sorry, guys. Sarah, I sent you the link to your doppelganger. But I have not, they deleted the VOD. They didn't save the VOD and I haven't seen them since. But their username is also almost just like yours. Or your old one, I should say. So I was really confused because it looked like you in letters and face. And it was like first stream. And I was like, is Shro finally streaming? What's going on here? Never know. Zoom out just a little bit. Was supposed to, I believe it wasn't you, but I was really confused and I was like, well, huh. I don't know. And then they were like, okay, guys, thanks for a great stream. Bye. So I didn't want to be all like, no, wait from me. I want to be that person. And then they haven't been live since. As I followed them with notifications like a stalker just in case. Who knows? It's a mystery. It's mystery. So this is us. We're just hanging out, knitting. Data and Twitch are not friends. So choppy. Oh no. Sorry. You know, my camera is not the best. So this, so we are finding out that the iPhone is not necessarily the best for the close-up bits. I am going to change something here. This one. Excuse me. We're gonna pull this out. So we zoomed in a lot, but the camera zooms, so I'm wondering if we take some of the manual zoom off. That will help make it a little clearer. Your cat eating the lights behind me. Perkins! Dirty! Supposed to eat the lights? What are you doing? There's a cat back there, looking all guilty like. Guilty cat. Dirty, come be a stream cat. Yeah. Oh, I caught ya. I caught ya. Oh, say hello. Just hang out. Don't be weird. Just, there we go. Okay. It's a dirty cat. I caught her. Why don't you just chill? We love you. Just say hi. Not Tom. She actually likes Tom settings. Tom scritches. It's now just cat purr ASMR. All right. She looks at me like I'm the one. Indignant. Undignified. Settling to the new job. The new / old job is going great. We officially got word we will probably not be back in the office much before October. Which is super rad for me because I like working from home because it's where my cats are. Oh, it's where the cats are. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. Should be a little bit less blown out. It's a little better. I'll take it. I'll take it. So yeah. So they're kind of sort of starting to have people go back to offices in waves instead of just working from home. A couple departments announced that they're not going back to the office, that they're going to keep working from home, and then they'll have like cubicles set up for people who are not comfortable with that, but they are not expected to come into the office like ever again. Mostly people who are usually out in the theme park like 4 out of 5 days. So their 5th day can just be home kind of deal, which is nice so that they don't have to run all over the place. Undecided from my department, but we are not worried about it right now. Got our eye on the prize. Prize is Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary in October. It's the most magical celebration, whatever we're calling it this year. I don't know. I think Disneyland is well, I know Disneyland's the happiest place on Earth, so I think we're the most magical place on Earth. It's the title they gave Walt Disney World, so I think it's the most magical celebration on Earth. It's on every flyer ever. You're going to start going back to 25% capacity next week. There you go. The long-term plan is hybrid. I think our long-term plan is hybrid as well. I think it's going to be on these meeting days. It would be nice if you were here. These other days, you can do whatever you want or what your department wants. But we always had like a call-in phone number for every meeting. So if you couldn't make it, you could call in anyway, because we'd always have people like, well, I have a 3 o'clock meeting at the Magic Kingdom and a 4 o'clock meeting at Epcot, and I'm not going to make it to both. I got to drive, so I have to call into one of them. So I think just making it a Zoom call instead of a call-in number it's not going to go away. It's going to be exactly the same. So what does it matter if you're at home or at a park or in your office or in a conference room? I mean, there's some stuff we have to do in person, like testing, and some stuff it would be nice to do in person. And I know some people have terrible internet and they're like, I just want to go back to the office and plug into the landline. Which is fair, but I'm not one of them. I want to be home where I can be in cozy knit socks and sweatpants and take cat breaks and poop in my own bathroom and not have to stand in line to pee. Also, nobody ever microwaves fish in the kitchen. Mostly because I know better than that. That's what toaster ovens are for. Damien doesn't like fish, so it's safe. It's safe here. I like it, and I don't have to pay tolls or gas to get to work. Veggie Zombie, hello! What is that face for? It's because we talked about poop. Are you pooping? I'm doing the streamer, whatever this is. And I never have to feel guilty of microwaving fish. Yes, yes, and yes. Keep the fish out of the microwave. They belong in the toaster oven. That's why you got one. And if you don't have a toaster oven, wrap it in some foil and put it in the toaster. If you microwave fish, it gets all soggy and sad. Aww. You don't want sad fish. Almost said you want perky fish. No, you want crispy fish. Tell that fish to smile more often. It looks prettier. I don't know if you guys can tell. My brain is all over the place today. Tinfoil in the toaster? Yeah? Pout, fish, pout. Oh no. So sad. Fish can smile when it wants to. Oh my gosh. I feel like I've inhaled fumes. And you guys are all getting the result of that. So, sorry, not sorry. Whatever is going on here. He leaked. Fiber Mage, hello! I don't think... Is tinfoil in the toaster dangerous? Because that's how we always used to... reheat French fries. Is you make a little foil packet, and you stick it in the toaster, and you put it down. Let's Google. Tin foil and toaster dangerous. Can't put parchment paper in a toaster oven. Can't put glass. If it comes in contact with a hot heating element, it can spark. However, others say it's entirely safe to use. Article, you're drunk. Go home. That's not an answer. Don't put acidic food in it because it causes toxins to leach out of the aluminum foil. Yes, yes, yes. Is able to withstand high temperatures, so yes. This literally says to wrap a grilled cheese sandwich in it and put it in the toaster and just make sure there are no edges sticking out. So I'm gonna say it's fine. Dangerous. I think you're right. I think the internet doesn't want to admit you're right, though. Because all these start off with, like, it could be extremely dangerous. That being said, putting a grilled cheese in it is highly delicious. And I'm like, one or the other. One or the other. I was trying to stream, but technical difficulties are being difficult. Oh no, Mage. I'm sorry. We might get kicked off our stream early tonight when these feeder bans go through. From Tropical Storm Elsa, so we will see how the night progresses. I hope that I have internet all night until 8 a.m. tomorrow, and then everything goes out, except AC, because that's important. I think you're correct, Excel Empress. I think you're 1,000% correct. I just think all these articles are really funny because they're like, because they all say like aluminum's extremely conductive. Be careful, it could spark. And then all of them are like, that being said, it's a great way to toast a grilled cheese sandwich. And I'm like, it does not compute. What? Veggie, how are you doing? How are you doing Tour de Fleece? If so, how's your Tour de Fleece going? It's dangerous, but I'm hungry while writing this, so I'm going to attempt science of the grilled cheese. Did you write the article too? So you know, right? It must be. It must be. But that being said, it is quite delicious. Okay, then. This is exactly why we don't believe the internet. Oh. This says that tin foil is toaster safe, but aluminum foil is not. Sure, the toaster is off, or you're wearing non-conductive rubberized gloves when doing so, since touching foil that's exposed to an electric charge can result in electrocution. Don't put it in any metal electronic appliance unless you're 99 years old and your life insurance policy is set to pay off. Finally, an article that makes sense. There we go. Tin foil, yes. Aluminum foil, no. I also like how the comments say, good luck finding tin foil as it's been replaced by aluminum foil since 1910. Finally, the internet has supplied a true, actual answer. Oh, internet, you're so funny. God bless this mess. All right. I thought those were the same or interchangeable. I call BS, they're both metal. I don't think tin is conductive, though. Is tin conductive? Aluminum is highly conductive. Tin. It's only 7% conductive. It's a total 15% conductivity. Tin is 15% has 15% conductivity, and aluminum has 61% conductivity. So it is conductive, not nearly as conductive as aluminum, which is the thing I want to put in the appliance where all the electricity goes. Mange, I knew you were doing TDF. How is your TDF going, and what is your goal, and how is it going? Veggie says she is doing TDF, but kind of over it a little. That's why I wasn't doing it this year. I knew if I did it, I wouldn't want to keep spinning 15 minutes every day. I knew I'd get spun out. Are we doing put our tinfoil hats in the microwave? Hey, Kev, man. I was talking about, it's really a downward spiral in this channel today. We were talking about how the new / old job is going, and I said how I liked working from home and how no one tried to put fish in the microwave. Then we were talking about sad fish, sad soggy microwaved fish, and then I said wrap it in some aluminum foil and put it in your toaster. And now we have all confirmed that putting aluminum foil in the toaster is a terrible thing to do, and now I'm contemplating on how I'm lucky to be alive. Since the thing to do when I was a kid was to take French fries, leftover French fries that were in the fridge, and make a little aluminum foil packet and put it in the toaster to heat them up because we didn't have a toaster oven growing up. And the oven was much too much trouble to reheat a packet of fast food fries. And it's just gone downhill from there. Now you're all caught up. Also, we've knit exactly like 10 stitches. Veggie, I think what they're saying is that they are interchangeable, but that it is only, everyone says tinfoil, but it's just foil, since it is usually aluminum foil, not actually made out of tin. So I'm only 15% likely to burn the house down. If you use tin foil, if you use aluminum foil, you're 61% likely to burn the house down. Now we have air fryers. I ain't that kind of fancy. I only got a toaster oven because I got married. Because I got all that good married juice. I was handing out money. Here we go. See, I'm not making this up. It's on the internet. It's from bluesea.com about the electrical conductivity of materials. Bronze is apparently very conductive. Silver is 105% conductivity, and now I'm questioning this chart. How can something be more than 100% conductive? All right, that's enough of that. Let's get off the internet. Now this website bothers me. Silver conductivity. I'm on a mission. All right, we're gonna save this beef for later. I got beef. Okay. Science, it can't be more than 100% conductive. Doesn't feel like good math. Technically, as long as it doesn't hit the coils on each side, you should be good. Chemman, that is the theory. If you want to take that chance. That is the theory. That's what I always thought. I'm now learning I very could have possibly burned the house down multiple times as a child, though. So, that's always exciting. Science! I have beef with science. I have beef with that website. I don't think it is properly explaining to me why silver is over 100% conductive. I call shenanigans. Don't like it. Gold's 100% conductive. That makes sense to me. Not 105. I don't like it. Anyway, moving on from the beef I have with science. How are you guys doing? How was your weekend? If you participated, how was your 4th of July? Let's put it that way. Mine was sat with headphones on, trying not to listen to 1,000 neighbors setting the neighborhood on fire. But my only consolation was everything was much too wet to actually catch fire, so just sat there thinking, may all your bacon burn most of the night. So is it just a percentage as compared to gold then? No, it said gold was 100% and it said that silver was 105. There wasn't a comparison on there. I'll pull it back up. This lie site. Oh. Oh, look what happens when you actually read it. Copper is the standard by which electrical materials are rated, and conductivity ratings are expressed as a relative measurement to copper. So it could be 105%. International Annealed Copper Standard, IACS, is the percentage of conductivity relative to copper, which is considered to be 100% conductive. This does not mean that copper has no resistance, is 100% conductive in an absolute sense, but rather that the standard by which other materials are measured is 100% in comparison. The higher the percentage IACS is, the more conductive the material. The standard refers to pure standard copper having a resistivity of 1.7241 microohm cm at 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Huh. So copper equals gold. So in this case, it's copper's 100% because it links. Booty Doctor, thank you for that sub. How are you doing tonight? We're talking about science and putting tinfoil in the microwave. I just used innocent until proven guilty because I say I'm immortal until proven wrong. So in this case, copper is 100% because copper is copper. Silver is 100%, 105% as conductive as copper, and gold would be 70% as conductive as copper. So it has a 70% conductivity rating according to the IACS International Annealed Copper Standard. We're learning so much today, guys. The correct method is using ohms per mmcmm. Oh! It's a microohms per cm. An even tinier ohm. So copper is 30% more conductive than gold by comparison, according to the IACS standard. And the internet. It's a good weekend. I may or may not have played with a flamethrower. Allegedly. I allegedly had fun this weekend. Damien had grilled hamburgers, and I made tater tots. We snacked on those, and I thanked the rain for keeping the fireworks only to the night of the 4th. Because normally it's like 2 nights prior and 1 or 2 nights after, but it was too rainy. So it was only the night of the 4th, and it was constant. And then I thanked all of the heavens for the our county and our community, our city's quiet hour laws. Because at 10:30 at night, on a school night, you can get the cops called on you. 10:30 or later. And I went, thank goodness, because all the fireworks stopped at 10:30. And I was like, yes. Lemming, thank you for the biddies. Happy late 4th of July. Thank you, my dear. I took Saturday off because I had a headache and there was a huge storm coming through. And I said, screw it, I'm going back to bed. And I finally did. I'm not here. You can't see me. I'm asleep. Lemming, you should be asleep. But I'm glad that you're here because I missed you. Gold has less distortion for electric signals. Oh. That's fancy. I did not know that. Your tie weaving is going to be put in a member gallery. Excel Empress, congratulations. First of all, you're going to have to just show a picture of it on all fancy like and on display instead of you wearing it like a dress. As much as I liked your dress, you gotta show it fancy proper like. Second of all, that's amazing because it looks really cool. You're making a huge dragon in Minecraft. Ooh. Can't stop, won't stop. Sound like you got business to do. What else have I been doing? I knit a bunch on Damien's sock, which is not anywhere near me, so I can't show that off. Oh, you guys were asking, especially if Uncreative Automaton comes in here, but I'll also post it in the Discord. Y'all were asking, so these are the socks I'm making for Damien. It's a Ravelry link, so let me pull up a stream safe picture, but it will be a Ravelry link. Excuse me. Here we go. The Ryefield socks, which are herringbone. Oh no, sorry. Here we go. Herringbone socks. So these were a bonus round from Sock Madness, that I am knitting for Damien. And y'all were asking me where to find the pattern, and it finally got released on Ravelry. I don't think it has been published off Ravelry yet. But you can buy it on Ravelry, and here's the link. Scott! So there you go. I will also post in the Discord because I know you guys were asking me about it when I was knitting on it. There you go. That's the news that came out this week. You woke up at 3:30 a.m. or 3:30 p.m. Family photos are important. I'm assuming that's a.m. I'm assuming it was like, to do everyone's hair. You may not have gone a bit crazy there. Crazy on the dragon? Lemming? Or just crazy in general? Pigtail. Let's see if I can try and... I don't know if you guys can see that. Pigtail. Oop. One ply. Didn't get smoothed down quite right. Yeah. Crazy in general. Stop by to say hi in the ICU with Dad. Surgery went well. Scott, I am glad that things are going well. I saw you in Burrows' stream when I was getting ready, and thank you for the biddies, and I'm glad you're doing well. Don't get kicked out. I'll talk to you later. I love you. AM. Mage, that's too early. Oh, but you're in North Carolina, so it's only 6:30 a.m. Okay. But you're still in Arizona time. You normally get up at 3 a.m. Arizona time? What is this? What is this? Don't do it. All right. You love these colors? Lemming, this is our hand spun for our Floof to Foot socks. This is how the yarn turned out. Isn't it delicious? Slightly more pink than the camera showing, but it is pretty darn close to actual colors. Mage, are you on vacation, I take it? Or visiting family, or both? I assume probably both. You know what happens to people who assume. Let's see if we can straighten this out. It's heckin' good. Thanks, Zombie. I am really proud of it. This is possibly some of the best hand spun I've ever made. It is a light fingering. It is just a smidge too light to be a true fingering. So we're knitting on size 0 needles instead of size 1. But to be fair, I'm usually in between a 0 and a 1 for my socks anyway. So it's a kind of vacation I will need a vacation from. That sounds like both. I have had several of those vacations. Lemming, I know you're crazy in general. That's why we love you. Family and 3 a.m. are both extra torture. Oh no. Oh no. Things are Mac! Mac, thank you for that sub. We are crafting, we are starting socks. Well, we are continuing our work on our sock, I should say. And I will even scoot closer so that you can actually see what's going on. So we cast on the toe. This is the toe of our sock. So we did the toe on Thursday, and now we're just knitting up the foot of the sock. And this is out of the fancy dancy hand spun that we made together on stream. So we made this yarn on stream, and now we're knitting it. More socks to cover Damien's double toes. These are mine. This yarn is too nice to go on Damien's stinky old feet with his talon toes. Because he always has the sharpest toenails. Speaking of which, I have to be nice to the stink kid because he, against his will, got his second COVID shot today and is pooped. So he is canceling his stream. So part of me is like, oh, I feel bad. And the other part of me is like, yeah, naps on the couch night. Woo. I'm sure they'll last a while. Damien is, I think I'm much harder on my socks than Damien is. But there were a couple times, especially before he got his, so he has a fancy tempered glass chair mat, which is really nice. And someday I'll get one. But before, when he was using the old one and it was all like old and the plastic was cracking and there were like jagged bits sticking up, and then he would rub his feet over it, and I was like, if you snag those socks, so help me, there will be no surviving for you. But he lives. He does like them. It's been good, but I'm so tired. But Mini Mage is having a blast. That's good. Yeah, those are definitely the vacations you need a vacation from. It was simultaneously like my favorite and the worst thing to visit family every summer. Because I loved it, especially after we moved away. I missed my cousins so much. We have a huge family. We've always been very close. And so going back was always so nice to see everyone. But by the end of the 2 weeks, I was like, can we go home now? I need a nap. So I hope you get lots of napping time. Books a reason. Hello, I'm so sorry. I almost missed your comment. This is, I believe it's 100% merino. Let me double check. Had it pulled up. It went away. Notebook. This is 100% 19.5 micron superfine merino. Normally in mill spun yarn, Bye, Shrow. Have a nice night. I will talk to you later. Thank you for the health and safety advice about my toaster. Are you living my life right now? Normally for my socks, I prefer a merino nylon blend. But when I do my own hand spun, I don't mind having them be just merino because I can spin it. Because when I spin, I tend to spin very fine and very tight. So it is, they wear much better than mill spun plain merino. Also, mill spun plain merino tends to be only 2-ply, and this is a 4-ply. So it is automatically extra nice. Hey, Red Plays. Why don't you think about what you said? Be nice to people. I'm too tired to deal with your bullshit. Also, I don't care what you think. So there. My absolute favorite socks are BFL. Because they can be a little rustic in the start, but they soften and felt. Well, not even felt. They just soften and form to your foot so nicely. They're my favorite. Just went to the shop where the woman had sheep and used the fiber to make socks, and her sheep were a mix of merino and BFL and Romney. Yes, and it's made me very excited about fiber types, even though I don't spin. We can fix that. Oh, we could fix that. I didn't used to be a spinner, and then I found spinning on Twitch, and I never looked back. I do think even if you're just knitting, trying out different sheep blends for yarn is very fun. It is very fun. I like how they react differently. I like how they drape and wear differently and have different kind of gauges. So that's nice. Can you use big yarn for socks? Yes, but it'll be extra thick and extra warm. So they'll be more like slippers. But I think the biggest you could go is DK double knit before it gets like bulky weird. But like when you think of like hiking socks, those are like a DK knit sock. The fingering weight socks are much lighter and squishier. And I feel like they moderate your temperature better. So like if your sole purpose is to just keep your feet warm, then DK is really, really nice because it's like a slipper. It's very insulating at that point. Because you also have to think about, it's all about heat insulation, right? So the bulkier and fluffier it is, the more air can get trapped, so the warmer your foot will become, kind of thing. Whereas fingering weight is much more compact and it's temperature regulating. So like when I'm home, I'll wear knit socks the whole time I'm home, regardless, because they're just comfortable. Unless I get really, really hot and I'm downstairs and I can put my feet on the cold tile. But they're very wool in general is very regulating. Like socks supporting the coldest winter. Well, in Florida, I don't have a lot of that kind of opportunity. But yeah, there are a lot of patterns for DK weight socks if that is something you'd like to knit. There's just books are a reason towards the rabbit hole. Come on in. The water's fine. Yeah. In 2017, I found out that spinning on Twitch was a thing, not just something that happened at run fairs, and that it was actually really cool, and how handspun made the coolest yarn, and how practical it was, and how you could control the yarn to turn out however you wanted it to look. So at the beginning of 2017, I got a Turkish spindle drop spindle and some wool, and I started making some hand spun, and it was real nice. And then I started making socks. That was real nice. And then in 2018 I got a wheel and we've never looked back. I really like socks, but I hate knitting on small yarn. That's fair. And it seems like you live somewhere warm anyway, so I feel like you would need the DK weight socks anyway. I love fingering weight. I like the smaller needles and the smaller yarn. So already I'm like fingering socks for the win. Also, Florida. I don't need to wear big, thick hiking socks around. But like when I'm running errands, I'll often, especially if I am wearing like, not shorts, but like, what you call them? The in-betweens? Wow, that word has just escaped me. Capris. If you're wearing capris or jeans, I'll wear hand knit socks and like Birkenstocks. And then go out and run my errands, which is nice because then I never get too hot, except in summer in Florida. I will almost never get too hot in the car, and then my feet aren't freezing inside the stores because the stores inside's always freezing to make up for how warm outside is. Down the rabbit hole I go. Yes. Pedal pushers. It's really refreshing to see someone who still uses a wheel. Absolutely, Mac. You've caught our spinning streams before, I hope. We'll do more spinning once our stream socks are finished. We'll do some more spinning this summer. It's all over from there. Now everyone's on an e-spinner, and part of me is like, I really want one of those because sometimes I'm too tired to move. And the other part of me is like, if I get an e-spinner, there goes what little exercise I get every day. And the cat was trying to eat everything you spun. That's fair. That's just about every time, Max. So that tracks. I don't think you guys can see it. I don't think I have the camera set up at the right angle. But there is a torn up braid of floof on the floor that is only for cats. And man, do they love it. They are spoiled. It looks so nice, guys. Now we're getting a little blue stripe. I like how it is almost kind of self-stripey looking. Split that stitch. Let's pull it back up. Fix it. Not that one. Go for this one. I said knitting needle and I definitely meant crochet hook. Trying to make sure I don't split the yarn. So we split it the last time. I want it to all go back together. Here we go. Mage, it's a 4-ply. This is fancy ass yarn. It is a 4-ply. We even measured it. It's 22 wraps per inch, so a true light fingering. 4-ply. The spinning wheel looks more manual, so I want to try it just to use it as something to do to distract my brain when it gets funny. I like the feeling of it, of spinning when you're pedaling. Sergeant Pike said that it looked like my feet were doing what cats look like when they need. And ever since then, that's what I think about every time I spin. That's impressive. Thank you. Yeah, I spin very finely, and I have trouble spinning larger gauge yarn. Larger, thicker, heavier weight yarn. Whatever, words. But some people only like spin really good thick yarn and then have trouble spinning thinner yarn. So I would rather spin smaller yarn because I love fingering weight yarn. So I'm fine with it. But it would be nice to knit better gauge. Someday I will do better. Did spin one true DK weight yarn that I'm very happy with. My gradient yarn. Someday I'll knit it and show it off. Kiyomizian, here is my wheel. If you want to look at it just for reference. So it's a, I believe it's called a castle wheel. It is a Scotch tension. And it's kind of that modern compact look, and I love it. Love it, I love it, I love it. But if you do get a wheel, I definitely recommend a double treadle. It's much easier to keep even tension and to keep your tension going with a double treadle than it is with a single treadle. Because you can always single pedal on a double treadle if your feet get tired. Say that any times fast. You can't say that after 3 drinks. Mac, I don't think I could say that again. I don't think I could say it a second time sober. He has already left my mind. It's too late. Ruined. I couldn't say that with no drinks. Castle Rock, hello! It's true. I couldn't say it again if you had asked me to. Castle Rock, how's it going, my dude? Things are happening. Books are reason, thank you for the follow. Thank you for being here today. This wheel is only €362. That's a lot less than what I'm going to pay on yarn.com. It's a budget wheel, and I love it. That's the wheel that I have. It is made by a sub company of Louette, but it is pressed wood instead of hardwood. So most spinning wheels are solid hardwood, but this one is like the IKEA of spinning wheels, which is why I got it, because I don't have any spinning wheel shops. I don't have any local yarn shops in the area. And of the ones that are accessible close-ish, none of them were sell spinning wheels as dealers. They'll occasionally have like a spinning wheel company or seller do an event, and I could never make it to one. So I was just like, screw it, I'm gonna do it. Carrots Knits, hello! Thank you. This is our hand spun. So for those of you just joining us and are wondering what the heck's going on, this is our Floof to Foot series. So what we did is we took a braid of wool. We separated it into 4 bits. We spun it and plied it all together on stream. And now we are knitting it into socks. So we are doing hand knit, hand spun socks from start to finish. So this is our finished yarn, and it is knitting up deliciously. Amber Art Tart, hello. I need to try a sock. I love socks. I'm addicted. I will love all my life. This store has free shipping to my country. If you are buying from Woolmaker's Bliss, I do recommend that you go ahead and do get the extra bobbin pack. Hang on, let me show you. We're gonna do a tour here real quick. Thank you for being a friend. My sister and I have watched an obscene amount of Gold Girls this year. Let me catch up. Castle Rocks is the wife, and you are good. Excellent, excellent. Glad to hear it. I hope you guys had a lovely weekend. Max says it's fascinating. A fascinating skill. Your grandmother used a wheel and a loom, and hand knit and finger wove. Oh. Remember seeing it, but you never paid that much attention? Everyone in my family was always crafting. They were always doing something when they hung out together. And I actually didn't realize that like 2 of my aunts and like 3 of my cousins also spin until I had brought some hand spun to a family gathering and we were all talking about it. Because I knew everybody like knit or crochet or whatever because we were always sitting there knitting or crocheting. And I never knew that any of it was hand spun. So that was very fun. You're flying Friday and packing a sweater for the plane. A sweater to wear or a sweater to knit? Or both? Let me see if I can get a decent shot on this. Hold on, please. Food, please. Here we go. Quick and dirty, slightly upside down wheel. So this is my wheel. It's my babe. You can see I'm spinning on it. So it only comes with 3 bobbins. So it's 1, 2, 3. So if you're going to buy it, I recommend you get the other pack. Which, oh, sorry, it comes with 2 bobbins. I think, no, it comes with 3 bobbins, and then I recommend getting the pack with the additional 3 so you can fill it up. And then I have a 3D printed bobbin, so I have 1 extra, which is extra handy. So if you are going to buy it, I recommend getting the extra bobbin kit, an extra drive band, because these do wear out eventually over time, and then in theory you'd also want an extra brake band, but I feel like the brake band is more sturdy than the drive band is less likely to need replacing as quickly. So that's my wheel. This camera away from my head. That camera stand is also a headphone holder at the moment. Rubik's Tarantula, hello. Thank you for being here. Thank you for following. There we go. Let's refocus. To knit, hoping to be on Body Island. I will usually try and do at least 1 sleeve before I go back and finish the middle bit. Or do like 2/3 of the sleeves so then I can finish the body and then go back and do the sleeves afterwards. It's very handy. I don't know where you put the wheel. Then that wheel, it's only yay big. It's very small. Don't start out with a wheel if you've never spun. Okay? Just get a drop spindle. We were talking about this the other day and I forgot to pull it out. This is my 3D printed Turtle Maid. My Turtle Maid spindle, drop spindle. It is so handy. It's all 3D printed. It folds together. It looks so cool. And then you can spin on it. So this is what I have 2 of these. And this is how I learned to spin. Here to Florida, it's 2 hours and 50 minutes. Oh, you're coming to Florida? Heck yeah. Hopefully it won't be rainy by the time you get here because it's been rainy for like 2 weeks straight. Never really appreciated a hand knit sweater until you're out by the sea in an Irish winter and you could enjoy staying warm and waterproof. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. How often does it need replacing the drive band? I have had mine since 2018 and I've never replaced it. But I live in a place where plastic and rubber do not last very long because of the heat and the humidity. So it's kind of one of those things to where like, it'll just snap occasionally. The rubber will go or the glue holding it together will go. So it's just handy to have a spare on hand because inevitably whenever it snaps is the time that you don't want to sit around waiting for a replacement. You know the drop spindle, but you never knew that type of spindle. So there is a top whirl spindle where the weight is up here and there's a hook. And then there's this one that has a little dip in it that you hook the yarn around. And this is a bottom whirl spindle. And I love these so much. And then the nice thing about these is, and the way that you wind it when you're, here, we'll make little pretensies. When you're doing it up, you go under one, over two. Oh, this isn't gonna work. Under one. Oh, no. Under one, over two. And it makes that like cat's eye cradle looking dealy. But the whole point is the little the bit that you have here, you can, if you don't do it too tight, you can take this out and then have a little ball that you can ply from. In theory, it's center pull. It's just like a yarn cake. You can pull it from the inside and the outside, but I have never had great success at that. But I like it because then it folds up and you can take it places. Buy it a meal. Buy it a drink, sailor. These are the type of spindles that Snyder Spindle makes. So I really like the 3D printed ones because I like how light they are. But if you like one with a heft, this is what Snyder Spindle makes. In fact, if you guys enjoy watching woodwork streams, I definitely recommend that you go check out Snyder Spindles. I think it's Snyder Spindles, not Snyder's Spindles. Spindles. We'll find out. Yeah. So I can say more than 4 years, but will snap when you least expect it. Something like that. Different brands last different times. It's not common to have your drive band snap, but it's just always good to have a spare one. And then some spinning wheels. So the main difference in spinning wheel is the setup of where the spindle is and where the wheel is. So this one has a spindle over the wheel. Some of them have them side by side. Some of them have them like front and back or way up here. And then the brake method is the other one. So this is a Scotch tension one. So there's a drive band and a brake band. And how they go together or don't go together will determine how fast your wheel spins and how much pull there is when you're spinning. But when I was spinning, I spun with the Turkish spindles for a year and I loved it so much, but it was slow going. But I still like my Turkish spindle because it's super fun for like travel. And it's just fun to like practice and hang out with and go slow while you're chatting with people and stuff. You don't have to pay nearly as much attention to it. It's much easier to stop and start. But yeah, get a spindle. They're like 15 to 30 bucks for a really, really nice one. Get yourself a braid of something that looks really pretty And if you have the bug, then go for it. And then that way, if you're like, I don't know if this is for me, then it's much easier to downgrade or gift. Knitter Girl, hello! Florida's going to get hit with a hurricane. It is. It's currently only a tropical storm. And we're inland. We're not near the coast, so I'm not too worried about it. It's going to be very rainy very soon, though. But it has also been raining for like the last 2 weeks, so this is nothing new. But I'm not complaining because we've been in a terrible drought, so I will take it. Take it. We're about to get another feeder band coming through, but it doesn't look like anything. It just looks like rain. Oh, Mage, on Thursday, when I saw that this storm was coming towards me, I was so mad, and I said, if Hurricane Elsa hits Disney World, I'm never going to let it go. I was very upset. Yarn Spinner's Tales, hello! Thank you for the follow! How's your Tour de Fleece been going? I love watching you in the mornings while I'm at work. We owe a bunch of people shout outs, so we'll get to that in just a second. Huntress, how are you doing? I hope things are going well. Carrots Knits, I hope your mom's doing all right. We don't usually lose power, but we have lost internet during storms before. So this one isn't supposed to be a lot of wind damage inland, but it will be a lot of water damage just because it has been it was very, very dry and then suddenly has been very, very rainy, which makes everything prone to flooding. So we are not in a flood prone neighborhood, but an internet hub or the nearest node could be. So we will find out how that goes. Because of course in Florida, almost all the utilities in the neighborhoods, it's like on the roads there's power lines, but once you go into the neighborhood, the power lines all go underground. So if it floods, then there's all this automatic shut off stuff for it. So it's super weird. Mac, words are hard every day. I'm too sober for this. Yarn Spinner's Tale, hello, thank you. So we are doing Floof to foot socks. So we spun this braid of fiber together on stream, and now we're making it into socks. So everyone can see what hand spun, hand knit socks from start to finish look like. So this is our first sock. We are making great progress. This yarn is delicious. It's like every flavor of cotton candy. I just want to eat it up. All the days that end in Y. I should have put whiskey in this tea is what my problem is. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is my Knit Picks mug. It says all you knit is love. Because knit stitches look like little hearts. Or V's. Makes me happy. Is toe up or top down easiest for beginners? For socks, it all depends upon the pattern and the heel. I personally like knitting toe up. I feel like top down is easier because you can put the heel and then knit to wherever and then do the toe. Hang on, I have a prop. So this is my very scientific foot cutout. So when you're doing toe up, depending upon which kind of heel, will depend upon where I start the heel. Whereas when you do top down, you just do whatever heel and then knit until you get however far to do the toe. So I feel like for beginners, doing top down is easier because then you don't have to try and fidget with where to put the heel to make the socks fit. You only have to try on, well, where until I get to the toe. So I feel like top down for beginners is easier. If that makes sense. Fiber content is 100% merino in a 4-ply light fingering. So this is just a smidge thinner than your average fingering weight. So we are on size 0 needles instead of our usual size 1, but it is making the most gorgeous squishy fabric. We cast it on size 1, but we dropped down to size 0 because it is a light fingering and I didn't want it to be too bare. Hello, Blue Feather. How are you? Thank you for self-censoring and not killing us from your amazingness. I greatly appreciate it. Hugs for all. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. This happy time zone to you. I hope you're doing well, I should say. Do toe up if you're going to play Yarn Chicken. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Which is why I usually do toe up. I owe shoutouts. I owe all the shoutouts. Let's do the fancy streamer roundup. Let's look at my face so y'all don't have to look at my weird arm typing. Look at you, man. Look at me. Now look at you, man. Now look at me. So we have Fiber Mage who's here, who does all sorts of fun, anything with yarn. She does it, and it's cool and very fun. Severus, hello. Happy time zone. We're gonna shout out Yarn Spinner's Tales. If you want someone who is a pro at spinning and types of sheep breeds and fiber processing, Yarn Spinner's Tale is the place where it's at. Super amazing. I love watching her channel when I'm at work and having her on the side. She keeps me company all the time. For the heel you chose, oh, we'll get back to questions in a minute. I'm focused. I'm gonna shout out Veggie Zombie, who sometimes stream when she's not a zombie or a vegetable. Grains. Who else? Who else is here? Huntress is here. Huntress, look at you a shout out. Who else is here who streams? If you're a streamer, speak up. Fendale, hello! Thank you for the biddies. You don't stream, do you, Finn? Fendale, tell me the things. Huntress does all sorts of extremely fun gaming and has a she shed of, I believe it's woodworking. Very exciting. I craft dough. You do, Huntress. You do. Mike Hunt, hello, thank you for the biddies. Just dropped in. It was funny, Fendale, because I said if you're a streamer, speak up and I'll be happy to give you a shout out. And then you're like, hey! And I was like, have I missed it this whole time? Fendale, how are you, my dude? I hope you're doing well. Amber, I didn't know you stream. I will absolutely give you a shout out. I'm not even certain I'm following you. I'm gonna fix that right now. Yeah, Huntress totally streams. She does all the gamings and things. And all of the fancy things. Outside, sweaty, she-hulky, crafty things. Most nights when I'm not completely tired. It's true. Yeah, but I like when you show off your stuff. I like when you show it off. You streamed starting last week, but you've been without motivation. Oh no, well we're gonna follow you so that when you get back on that horse, we're gonna be all set. Am I following you? This is a great question. I'm not. Let's fix it. Bam. Nailed it. Done. Part of me is like, why you no stream? It'll be okay. And the other part of me is like, man, it's been a really tough 2 years. Sometimes life is weird. Kiomesian, you should stream. We'll be there. We'll support you. Also, if y'all go live, make sure you post in the Discord so I can come stalk you. And for our friends who are not here. All right, back to sock. BTS. Bam. It's looking so good. It's a little slightly washed out. You can definitely see the marling on the toe. The marling for up here is a little harder to see because it's in between pink and purple, and the camera doesn't always like it. I'm chicken, and my craft room is a hot mess. I mean, just don't look over there and don't look on the floor behind me, and it's great. It happens. A hot mess in every sense of the word. Hot and messy. Trying to learn civilizations. This is odd. Is it the game Civilization or is it a game called Civilizations? Because I know Civilization. I don't know Civilizations. It's a huge mess with a massive desk in the way. Lemming, I hope your Minecrafting time turned out nicely. Please go to bed, get some rest, my dear. We'll talk to you later. We'll hang out. It'll be great. I'm asking a local service for 3D printing a spindle like you showed Let's Pray. Heck yeah. Let me drop a link. First of all, oh, here we go. First of all, this is the braid. I pulled this up and then we never went back to actually look at it. So this is the braid of fiber that we started with. So it has all of those. It has that kind of minty teal. It has the pinks and the purples in it. So that's what all of this delicious fluff is like. It's very nummy. Shops, turtle made, 3D printed. Okay, so this is the store where I got my 3D printed spindle from. They're currently on vacation until July 11th. But they have the 3D printed spindles. They are US based though. I don't think you are US based. And then Snyder Spindles, who is the streamer who makes the wooden versions of both the top down and the top whirl and bottom whirl. That is his shop. And he makes, if you're looking for a wood one, his are delightful. And he makes them on stream so you can see the whole process start to finish, which is very fun as well. Who is the dyer? It is Jakira Farms. I have a link for that too. Somewhere. Go. This is okay, so Jakir Farms is where I got, this is the store that we got that I got the braid of fiber from. They have a ton of stuff in here. It does change quite often. So they'll usually do like 2 or 3 braids of every colorway. And then kind of like when it's gone, it's gone. So you can tell like this also like this is almost the exact same colorway, but it's on baby alpaca. So it looks completely different. It's delicious. Shopping while streaming again. So those are very fun. Let me go back to chat. I know I missed stuff. So let me see who I missed. So we can go back because I don't want to miss anybody. Carrots Knits asked, do high arches matter? Yes. So, the type of heel you choose depends upon if you have a high arch or not. Some are much more high arch friendly than others. But it top down or bottom up doesn't matter. The direction doesn't matter, only the type of heel matters. Because some of them are just inherently have more give or more room than others. Typically, heel flap and gussets are nicer for high insteps, but the only problem with those is those are really generally only knit top down. But there are several heels that are nicer for high insteps, which I have. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure we didn't miss anybody. Catching up. Don't know. It's 6. Okay, Civilization 6. Yes. So that's a newer one, and the turns are weird on the game. I completely understand your confusion. You are not alone. Huntress, you are not alone. I have the game on the Switch. I can't figure it out. For your confusing game, being confused by it, you are not alone by that game. Window shopping. It's window shopping while streaming. That's the problem. I'm like, oh, that's nice. Heart, heart, heart. Favorite, favorite, favorite. I wonder if vanilla sock is easier for beginners. I feel like how fancy the sock is or isn't too much of a factor, because my first socks were not vanilla socks, but the more fancy things you do to it, the more it messes with the tension is the only problem. So like if it has so like the main thing that you want to learn when you're making socks is almost every stitch pattern is knit in. Every sock pattern is, all the sizes are in multiples of 4, and they usually have like set sizes. So there's usually like a 56 stitch size, a 64 stitch size, and like a 72, and then like an 84 kind of deal. Or whatever. So doing a vanilla sock and figuring out which stitch size, whether you're kind of like a small, medium, or large, is very helpful. But like if it's like a ribbed pattern, if it's a very simple pattern that doesn't add a lot of stretch or give to it, it doesn't have to be vanilla. When you do cables though, cables pull in, and some of the knitting patterns account for that, and some of the knitting patterns do not. And they don't necessarily say, because of these cables, if you normally knit a size 64 stitch, we recommend going up a size. Some of them will say it and usually they won't. And then that's where it becomes very trial and error. Especially if you're a tight knitter, that can affect, the gauge can really screw up when you're trying to just figure out what size. So yeah, vanilla socks are easier and they are nicer, but they are not necessary. That's what I'm trying to say. Really am just verbal diarying all over the place, and y'all are stuck with me. Ooh, we're about to get a whole bunch of blue. This is very exciting to me. I did not start with the most basic sock pattern for my first socks, but it was written well and they came out great. Yeah. Mine were They were like they had a pattern panel to it, so they were all vanilla, and then they had like a little pattern panel, but it wasn't lace, and it wasn't anything that pulled in really tight. So it was nice, and I was an advanced knitter, so like the knitting wasn't what was confusing. It's usually the sizing is what's confusing. When you're switching from regular knitting to sock knitting, is trying to figure out, because everyone's like, oh, do gauge, but then it's different in the round, but a lot of it's just trial and error. And oh, well, you can measure your foot, but what if you like your socks tighter, and what if you like your socks really loose? So it's a fair amount of trial and error regardless. But once you get the nice thing is once you figure out your size, you're pretty much golden. So for example, I know that I am a size 64 on US ones, but if there's any sort of pattern, I need to go up to like a size like 68 stitches. And on size zeros, I'm generally a 72 stitches, but if it is a thicker yarn on size zeros, then or I'm worried about stretch, then I'll go up to 76, which is what we did for this one. Trial and error, trial and error. My first two pairs of socks fit great, except that they're a little long in the foot. So you can see where they're wearing not quite as evenly as they should. But it happens. Buffering? Oh no. Is it me? Looks good on my end. May need to refresh Huntress. We do not seem to be dropping frames. We should be good. How do you figure out your size? Stopped and caught up. That's just Twitch being twitchy, unfortunately. It could absolutely just be Twitch servers being weird. But my internet says it's good to go, and I'm not dropping frames on my end. So whatever is happening between me and you, I'm sorry. Getting our wires crossed. Sacrificing your firstborn? Well, it happens. It's all right. I appreciate it though, because if I had really been buffering, I appreciate the heads up. I am more, if you were having problems, I am more than happy to check on my end, but my end looks good. So try refreshing. As far as your size go, Carrot Knits, it starts off with, there's a bajillion different ways to figure out what size foot you are, but generally, you know, you just measure. Are you an 8-inch foot? Are you 9-inch foot? Are you a 10-inch foot? And then you pick the pattern that corresponds to it and you go from there. Generally, an 8-inch foot or smaller is a size small or extra small. Excuse me. Your standard 9-inch foot is a size medium, which is usually the 64 stitches, and then a 10-inch or higher is a large or extra large. I'm a 9.5-inch foot. I'm technically like 9 3/4, almost 10 inches, but I like my socks fairly tight, so I'm a 9.5-inch. So that's why I'll cast on like a 9, but I'll size up or down based upon the yarn. But again, trial and error. Make socks. Put on feet. Do socks feel nice? That's the other nice thing about socks, is like I like knitting them on the little tiny 9-inch circulars, but you can put them on like 40-inch circulars and you can try them on every step of the way. So you can try on the toe and be like, oh, this looks good. And then you can go a little bit further up and you can say like, oh, this is good. Or, oh, this is too loose. Or, oh, this is kind of tight. And then you can rip back and adjust accordingly. which is nice. The main problem you will have is knitting like 3 or 4 inches and then seeing if it fits over your heel and up your calf. If you can't get it over your heel, then you have a problem. And that's why I do like top down for beginners with the in correspondence to the heel, because getting it over that, if you have a high instep, the whole question is can you get the leg over your heel to wear it? Oh, excuse me. Fiber Mage, have a lovely day, night, time. Enjoy, family. I love you too. Take care. In my country, it's hard to get spinning wool. Can you use felting wool? Yes. Yes, based upon the breed and the quality. So sometimes like wool that's not soft enough to spin is felting wool. And sometimes it's just wool that felts very well. So for example, so like take merino wool. Merino wool is very soft. The softer types of merino usually go towards spinning wool, and then the ones that are rougher, that are a little too rough for like close to the skin, usually go towards felting wool. But different breeds react different ways. So some breeds are just a rougher to the touch. They're rougher. Once you wear it, they soften up over time. But because they're kind of rough to the feel, people don't necessarily spin or felt with them, or spin or knit with them, so they just automatically go to felting wool. And some wools are not as soft, but they're much warmer and heavier, like your wool coat. Your wool coat isn't always the softest thing, but it is very warm and it's very sturdy, so it's kind of one of those middle things. So it all depends upon the breed. That is the other thing that is felting wool. Sometimes felting wool doesn't tell you what breed because it's mystery wool. But it felts good, so now it's felting wool. So it could just be the way that they listed it and the description, or it could be it's not a very good quality, or it's not very soft. Merino is certainly the most popular breed, but it is not very good for beginners to spin because the hair length is shorter. Also, everyone always raves about merino is the most popular, but I actually prefer BFL, and I really like Corriedale and Polworth as well. Those are BFL, Corriedale, and Polworth are all the staple length. The hair length is longer, so it's a little easier to spin. And because it's not as popular, sometimes they're a little cheaper. Do you mind if I ask you what do you mind if I question you and ask what country you're in? And if you don't want to respond, that is more than fine. I am curious. See if we can find you. From Costa Rica? Hey! Let's see if we can find some wolf in Costa Rica. Filter. Shop location. Brazil. Interesting. That's just yarn. It's not spinning. You can also spin plant fibers, as if that's a lot easier to get a hold of. You can. That is absolutely true. Companies. It's textiles. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. Fibers. This company makes it, but you can't buy it. Well, that's no help at all. South America. Lower our standards. Ship to Brazil. Talked with a viewer from Puerto Rico. No wool there either. Sheep rarely raised. She learned to spin cotton first. Oh, that's a good point. Very good point. There's a lot of wholesale people. If you want to buy 22 pounds of wool. This looks like. It's from Chile. Although this is a good example. So here, let me show you this one. So this is what I'm talking about. So sometimes it'll say hand spinning felting fiber. So they'll put both in there because you can use it for either. And some people will be using the search term felting, and some people will be using the search term spinning. So that way it's a catch-all to catch either person. But it'll also, and you can even knit really chunky with roving, but don't do it. It's terrible. It makes terrible yarn. So the other thing you can do is you can look at the micron count. So because this is merino wool, the lower the micron number, the softer it is. So the one that I'm using is 19.5 micron. This is 18 micron. So it's very, very soft. Sometimes it'll say that. Sometimes it has a lot of information, and sometimes it has very little information. So it's all depending upon the listing, how it's worded in the listing. Also, when you're just beginning, it doesn't matter if it's soft or not. The fibers, the wool that feels a little rougher is easier to spin because it's not as slippery. It's when it's rougher, the hairs are more wavy. It has more crinkle, more kink to it. So it's easier for them to latch on when you're spinning. So that's not necessarily a bad thing either. You can spin cotton, you can spin flax. I mean, in theory, you could spin linen. Well, I guess linen would be flax. People spin silk or silk hankies. There are also a lot of international places, like the big name box stores, like Knit Picks or Wool Warehouse UK. They'll ship internationally, and it's like a flat rate internationally. Oh, bamboo's a great one. Thank you. I know I said I was off, but I'm still here. Lemon, you got an interview. Congratulations. Are you excited? You're too tired to be excited. Go to bed. Stop thinking about it. Worry about it tomorrow. I know you, Lemon. Stop worrying. Go to bed. Which one was the UK one? It's, let me find it for you. Okay. Sure. No, they have knitting. Let me make sure that they have spinning. Now that I've officially shot my mouth off. Fabric, accessories, needlecraft. Do they have spinning fiber? Oh, they have felting wool. Roving. This is very unhelpful. It all just says 100% wool. Here we go. Merino. Trimmets. I think that's the company. Malabrigo Noob. That stuff is terrible. It does not have a very good selection. It is mostly knitting. I don't think you'll like it. So this is one where it's like, so it all says, it says wool roving, but then it says felting products. And then for wool, it just says like 100% wool until you go in and look at the description. Where this one says that it's merino. Superfine merino, natural merino. It's not great. But this site is amazing for yarn. It's delightful for yarn. It is not for spinning, as it turns out. But a lot of like the really big companies like that, like yarn.com is another one. I don't know what their specific shipping to you is, but my goodness, did they have everything under the sun, and are they used to shipping internationally? So if it's going to be shipped internationally, you're going to get a much more accurate price with someone who constantly ships internationally than, unfortunately, with small businesses who are not as practiced with it. Especially Etsy is not great at calculating prices when you're shipping internationally. It's great if you're in the same country, but it doesn't always calculate very well for shipping, if that makes sense. Here you go. Webs is the other one. It's like 15 bucks for anything more than 200 grams. Yeah. Yeah, it can be rough. That's definitely fair. But it is more cost effective for big brand stuff, I have found. There's some Romney. Ooh, dyed Corriedale. Oh, that's nice. Packaged in 8-ounce bags. This is amazing price. There you go. This is some good stuff. There you go. This is so it's a half pound, so 8 ounces for $17.50 US. In some nice colors, and it's all the same color, so you don't have to worry about it. And I love Corriedale because it can be very soft, and it is an easier wool to start spinning with, in my opinion. They also have amazing customer service. Because there were a couple listings where I had questions, And the woman was like, I don't know. I'm going to walk to the warehouse and find out for you. And I was like, okay. And she called me back and she goes, all right, I have it here in front of me. I'm just going to read you the label. And I said, okay. She's very nice. I don't think that is always their customer service experience, but it was very nice when I called. Especially now, I don't think that they're all in the warehouse anymore with COVID, so I couldn't tell you. But they are very kind. Because crafters usually are. We all want each other to do well. There's very little cutthroat knitting and spinning in this craft. So then when she wasn't looking, I dulled her needles with a file. Ha ha ha. You also just have to play around and find out which stores are cheaper to ship from, like which countries are cheaper to ship from and which ones aren't. Like, it's cheaper for me to buy stuff from England than it is from Canada. And Canada's America's hat. And our post offices do not like each other. It's a feud. They're angry. $36.20 for a bag in total, tax plus shipping. Part of me is like, oof, that's a little expensive. And the other part of me is like, but that's 2 braids, so that's actually not bad. So a normal braid, here, let me show you. I'll show you the size. Oh. Almost. Okay. There we go. It was like 2 inches too far. All right. So this is a braid of wool. This is normally the size they come in. Sometimes they're braid in like little brioche buns. And sometimes they're braids like spaghetti. So these are both 4 ounces of fiber. These are both the same. This one is much more compact. So as you take it and you spin it and you fluff it up, it'll fluff up to this. This is already so fluffy and delicious. So these are both 4 ounces. So what you're getting is 8 ounces together. Which is why it's a really good price. It's like a buy one, get one free kind of deal. So $36 is expensive, but it's not a bad price. To me. For stores local to me. Everything is relative to what your budget is, right? Oh, I just realized I held that up and I had the wrong camera on. Here we go. Now you can see it if you're on your phone. I apologize. So this, for example, is Corriedale. So it's the same as what you're getting, and it's very squishy. It looks a little rougher to the touch. But it spins out very fine, and the finished yarn is just as soft. Whereas this is merino alpaca silk, so it's very smooth and soft to the touch, and it'll turn out just as soft, but this will be much silkier and shinier. They'll both be the same amount of soft at the end, but the fibers look very different. But because this is so shiny and slippery, it can be harder to spin when you're first starting out. And this is very fuzzy, grabby, so the hairs will grab onto each other, so it'll be much easier to spin. I think the cutthroat crafter would be a good meme. And they were thankful because they stopped stabbing their fingers while knitting. Look at that squish. Yeah, so usually a braid is 4 ounces, and that is so usually 4 ounces runs anywhere from like $15 to $25 from a hand dyer. So getting 8 ounces for $17.50 is a good price. It'll be a whole lot of whatever color you pick, but the nice part is that you won't feel like it's precious, like you have to save it, like you're not doing good enough. You can just spin it all, and at the end it'll start to look really nice. $113 on the Wool Warehouse. It's a 15.56 pounds. No. 113 grams is not 15.56 pounds. I call shenanigans. Sarbear Crafty Gal. Hello. Welcome. We're playing with wool. We were knitting. Now we're just talking about spinning. I've been there a couple of times. They've always been great, even on their crazy sidewalk sales days. They're awesome. I have never been to America's Yarn Store. I've never been to Webb's. I've only done it virtually. Good enabling. Welcome to the fiber. 113 grams is 4 ounces. Oh, sterling pounds, like the money pounds. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. 113 grams is 4 ounces. I think technically it's 115 grams is 4 ounces. I don't know what the exact number is. It's 4 ounces. It's one braid. It's a little expensive. I bet it's really nice though. All right, remember when we said we were gonna knit socks? I want to go to there. I would love to go to Webb's when they do their sidewalk sales. I bet it's amazing. I bet my husband would divorce me because I would be like, I'm sorry, I can only buy what fits in the car and you have to leave. I've seen the movie Ever After. Drew Barrymore taught me the rules to negotiating. I have your word on that. I can have whatever. I can take whatever I can carry. Anything you can carry. I wouldn't call them my LYS, but they're just over an hour from my house. That's amazing. Oh no, we're going to need another car. Told me it had to fit in my car. Well, get out. This is my car now. Then we had to buy a roof rack. You always considered a car. I was very excited when so this used to be our guest bedroom. I was very excited when we moved it from our guest bedroom into my office, even though it will be the guest bedroom should anyone ever travel to come see us again. There is a ton of space. I know it doesn't look like it. There's a ton of space behind me. It fits one of those super fancy queen size blow up air mattresses that are like this high with a headboard. But I was most happy because then all of my yarn could stop being stuck in different corners of the house and could all be in one room for the first time. And I was like, this is a lot of yarn. It's also like those memes where they're like, all my yarn fits in one box. And the husband's like, honey, you need to stop calling our house a box. Well, you picked him and his friend up from a bar for a sleepover. I did. And I have compensated myself for it nicely. We're going to need a bigger car. There's steel-toed shoes. There's a lot of aggressive ladies with walkers, canes, and sharp elbows. I believe it. You're here for a good deal, man. And we'll take all the good stuff, too. Just empty the suitcase, leave the clothes, take the yarn. At that point, I'd be like, I would be on board with the space saver bags, like carrot knits. I'd be like, all right, I brought a whole bunch of gallon-sized Ziploc bags. Time to start sitting on it so they go flat. I will say there is a yarn store. I don't know if they're in Canada or if they're just very, I almost said high, very north US. They're like either Montana or Canada. I don't remember. They're right in the Hat region. And I bought 2 skeins of yarn from them, and they said, we're going to send you the yarn. If it seems kind of flat once you open the package, don't worry, it'll fluff up over time. And I was like, what? And they sent them in the freezer bags with all the air sucked out. So they were flat, so they could put it in an envelope. But it was brilliant because then there wasn't any moisture in it. Because I'm in Florida, so by the time everything gets to me, it's slightly damp if it's not sealed up well. So it was brilliant because it was so fresh. I didn't have to worry about it. So I cut it open and they were a little flat, and I kind of did one of these things and they were perfect and they were amazing. I loved it. And then I was like, an envelope. I didn't order an envelope. I ordered yarn. You have to watch out for little ladies. They are vicious. Because I live in Florida and the only yarn stores near me are either very far south, very far north, or on the coast. So, they're all full of, and like there's this myth that the only people in Florida who knit are all these little ladies. So all the yarn stores cater to all the little ladies. So I go in there and I'm just like, don't you have anything more not beige? A little less blue, maybe? So they're getting better. But I generally will just pick an independent dyer or a smaller yarn shop and be like, you're my independent, you're my LYS now. Send me yarn. That's brilliant. Yeah, I thought it was great. I was like, why don't we all ship things this way? In those little food saver bags. Because usually, especially if it's been sitting in the mailbox like overnight, or if I couldn't check the mail until the next day kind of thing, or if it had been raining when the package got delivered, sometimes they can be a little damp, and I'm always like, I don't know whether I should bag it in case anything got into it, or if I should hang it up in the shower and make sure it doesn't get gross. So usually I just bring it home and give it a bath. Like, hello, new yarn, please take a bath. Guess I'm not knitting with you today. It all depends upon how you package your yarn when you send it to me. Florida's got every bug known to man. Wonder if my mom has yarn stores? Maybe. Probably. As long as she doesn't live in Orlando, yes. I live in the middle of the state. Middle left to right, the middle up to down. There ain't nothing here. I've also gotten rid of most of our bookstores. I need to ask the Googles. My husband asked me to help with something in his Discord for his stream the other day. And he's like, do you know how to do it? And I was like, the Google Oracle shall provide. She lives near Tampa? Yes, there is a yarn store. I believe it's got the word shells in it. I'm gonna find it. Hold up. I want to say it's in Sarasota. Stash, a place for yarn. It's close. It was an S word. They have a website. No. Yeah, this one. Here. But I haven't been there in a very long time, so I would definitely call them before going. Oh, and then there's also one in Winter Haven, but it's a little further away. But it's really nice. If you get out towards Lakeland, it's the Four Pearls yarn shop. It's the closest one to me, but it's like a 2-hour drive there. The bus. There you go. That's the one that's in Winter Haven, which is just past Lakeland for you, or almost to Lakeland for me. She's up above Tampa. That one is in Stash is almost on the bay. It's like real close. Real close. Is that the only one I'm thinking of? There's also one south. That's too far south. Yeah, there's a good yarn Sarasota, but that's gonna be too far. It's too far. It's too much. Not that this will help you per se. But the Four Pearls will ship for free in Florida if it's $50 or more. So you could shop online and have it sent to your house. Is that a good idea? No. Is it an idea? Can you ask Damien if Bronze can use his sheriff account if he isn't sleeping? If Bronze can use Damien's sheriff account? No. That would be against terms. For him as a partnered CC. To let other people use his account. Wish you had more than a weekend. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. Mike, I think if it was Damien's personal account, that would be another story, but technically his sheriff account is his, like, company account because Wargaming gave it to him, and he represents Wargaming when he's using it, so it is against, I think it's against policy for other people to use it. Sorry, my dude. But if you and Bronze want to become streamers, you Get your own sheriff account. Y'all can do it. Also, Mike, how are you doing? Did you have a lovely weekend? You having fun with the tanks? My husband streams. I should give him a shout out. Saw we dropped a stitch there. For those of you who don't know, my husband is Damien's Gaming. He is the fine gentleman who helped us when my stream cam wouldn't work earlier. And he streams primarily World of Tanks. He also does some afternoon streams where he's been enjoying the new Sea of Thieves content. So if you are a gamer and want to go check him out, make sure to pop in and troll him. That's what I do. It's quite fun. And he's like a nice guy and stuff. If you have streamer questions, he is the guy. About streaming and technology and all the things. He's my go-to IT guy. Carrot Snits, the best part about you coming down next weekend will be that the weather should be gorgeous by the time you get here. Because the weather after a hurricane is always the nicest weather ever. So you should be all set to go. Can't remember the last time we actually went out of state. That wasn't to visit family. I don't think we've ever been out of state on a vacation that wasn't to visit family. We keep planning it. It kept getting canceled due to natural disasters. Coming down Friday, it's supposed to rain. It'll rain every afternoon. But when it's not raining, it should be quite nice. Because the storm will be out of here by then. It'll just be regular afternoon stuff. And it should be decently cool in comparison. I mean, still hot. But nice. It has been like gray and rainy the last 2 weeks. Just constant clouds, rain. So you should actually get some nice sunshine. Which will be quite delightful for everyone. Hot and rainy here too? Oh no. Carrots, where are you? If you don't mind me asking. State or region. Pennsylvania. Yes, I know. At least you guys get some summer breeze. Florida gets nothing unless you're on the coast. It's a hot, still summer unless it's about to rain. Haven't seen your parents in a year and a half. This is going to be so nice for you. It's going to be delightful. It's going to be a lot. Be prepared for no one in this state to be wearing a mask. I'm gonna get the hugging. Yes, you are. All the squishes. It's gonna be nice. You're gonna like it. You're gonna really like it. I'm excited for you. That's fun. A couple of guys from work last week were like, come to the track with us tonight and watch Demolition Derby. My shoes are still wet. Oh, jeez. I bet it was a lot of fun, though. That was a lot of fun. Don't have a lot of those here, and I wish we did. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. We haven't had anything, so I couldn't tell you. Probably had them, and then I just didn't realize it until it was gone. They stink probably too now. Yeah. Yeah. They're probably wrecked. But I bet it was a lot of fun. Did you have a nice time is the real question. Because if you had a nice time, then it doesn't matter. If you didn't, everything's ruined. Stretched. So much crazy redneck stuff and not a mask to be seen. The last time I went to the grocery store, a gentleman very kindly said, you know, you don't have to wear your mask anymore. I said, thank you, sir. Because my husband just got his second shot today. And then there's the 2-week incubation period. So, like, I still wear a mask for him because he's not fully vaccinated. Because heaven forbid I catch something and pass it on to him and then not know it. Like, I'm not wearing a mask for you, bro. It's fine. I'm wearing it for me and mine. I still do full vax and all. I haven't been enough places. So it hasn't been an option for me yet. And it won't be for 2 more weeks because my husband just got a second shot today. So, like, everyone in my household isn't vaccinated. So when I go out, I have to wear a mask. That's just the way it is. And I haven't thought about it before. Just wear a mask. But I was fully vaccinated because I got it through work early. I don't know how I'm gonna feel. I don't know. They still cough and sneeze. They still get too close is the problem. If y'all were still further away and we just stopped wearing masks because we're all vaccinated, then I'd be fine. But he got real leaned in and was like, you know, you don't have to wear that. And I was like, thank you. Weird at the store, but for outside stuff, I've been getting a little more relaxed-ish. It also depends upon how close everybody is. Like, when you're outside and it's hot, people don't want to stand together. It's too hot. So they automatically space out a little bit, and that's much nicer. Inside, that's where all the crazy people are. They're coming out saying it's not fully effective. Nothing is 100% effective. And the question is whether it's effective against these variants, which are being passed around amongst all the unvaccinated people. And as the variants get stronger, like the flu, it may not be it may not be a thing. No one's gonna know for at least another 1.5 years, and I'm like, whatever. But you know what I also haven't had? A head cold since 2019. It's really nice. I haven't had a sinus infection that wasn't headache or allergy related. That's been really nice. I haven't had bronchitis. That's been extra nice. I haven't had the flu. That's been delightfully nice. Also, I get my flu shot. So that's less likely anyway. But in 2017, I got the flu for Christmas, and my husband thought I was dying, and I was like, this is why people died in 1918. It was so bad. And I was on all the good drugs because the strain that I had was viral, not infection. It's one of those. It was the one where you're allowed to take the drugs. There was always one where they're like, I can give you drugs, we'll do nothing. And then there's one where like, here, take some Tamiflu, you'll feel better in a week. The vaccine protects you from the current variants. There are always concerns that it may not against future ones. People are always going to be concerned about that. That's fine. It's all fine for now. We're not going to worry about it. Infection, you take the drugs. Viral, you just suffer. Thank you. That one. It was the infectious flu, not the viral flu. And it was funny because everyone was complaining about taking the COVID test and having the swab shoved way up their nose. And I was like, clearly you didn't have that when you were also stuffed up with a sinus infection, because that feels like pain itself. A stuffed nose with that swab is the worst thing in the world. You have one more vaccine to get. Is the flu shot? Yeah. One more. You can do it, Knitter Girl. I believe in you. You've been getting very bad bruising from the shots or in general? The shot. Okay. The first shot, I was really bad bruising. The second, I didn't have anything. Just very tired. It was my only side effect from the second shot. Oh, you're borderline anemic. I get that. I get that. Got the pneumonia shot. Wait, there's a pneumonia shot? What'll they think of next? My mom got a shot for shingles. She's like, I've been vaccinated against shingles. And I was like, you can do that? Well, that's nice. There's a pneumonia shot? That's amazing. Give me one of them. Your stepmom works in a nursing home and said that the nasal swabbing wasn't bad until the National Guard started doing it. That's funny. I mean, it's uncomfortable, but it's not the end of the world. But when you are all stuffed up and your sinuses are inflamed, like I was when I had the flu, like I was clogged. So shoving a stick up there, it doesn't do a whole lot. There's nowhere for it to go. It's already full. So that hurt. The regular COVID shots, I was like, ah, it's fine. Also, if you went to CVS, you got to self-swab. So they're like, go far enough until it's just uncomfortable. And I was like, okay. You got the pneumonia shot because you have diabetes? I mean, that makes sense. I think everyone should get the pneumonia shot. I didn't know pneumonia shots were a thing. Now I want one. My problem is that when I get a really bad chest cold, if I don't rest properly and take actual time off, then it always becomes bronchitis. If I can sleep and I can sleep it off and I can rest up, then it's fine. But it was always on it was always at jobs where they're like, you can't take time off. You don't have paid time off. You better be there for the big presentation or it'll be your job. Yum, 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 yum. Then I have to roll in. I got bronchitis. Grab my shoes and nothing. I ran for my life. During COVID, the pneumonia shot and the flu shot helped. I can imagine. Because at that point, it's already boosted your immune system to target specific areas. Because the pneumonia shot is all about strengthening the immune system pertaining to your lungs. Variants for that. So that would make sense. Just it's still we are starting the mummification process. I am a fan of modern medicine. If there is a shot or a pill I can get for it, hallelujah. My serotonin comes from a bottle. Better living through modern chemistry. I used to be like, no, it's fine. It doesn't hurt that much. Now I'm like, screw it. It hurts. Give me the pill. I'll just do a pattern row and a wrong side row on the shawl tonight. 900 stitches later. Yeah, man, put it down. Go to bed. At least stretch. At least stretch them hands. My problem the other night was like, look at me. I stopped knitting at a decent time. And then I promptly went to bed and played Stardew Valley on the Switch in bed until 3 a.m. And I was like, well, good thing it's not a school night. Hallelujah, getting Monday off work this week. Because that's always me. I'm like, well, I'll just play one farm day on Stardew just to relax and get comfortable in bed. And then I'll roll over and go to sleep. And then like one season later, one Stardew week later, I'm at a point where I need to look at how much yarn is left and if you need to add more pattern repeats before the edging. Oh, that's math, and you should not do that when sleepy. When you went into the hospital in 2020, they tested you for COVID and you were negative and not a carrier for COVID. Congrats. Also, I'm sorry you had to go to the hospital, but I'm glad that you're doing better. I'm pretty certain my parents had COVID in December. At the beginning of December, right after, because I think we canceled Thanksgiving last year, or that year. Either canceled Thanksgiving, or we had to push it back a week. I don't remember. They were really sick. They had like the worst chest cold they'd ever had, and they were worried that they had pneumonia. So they went to the hospital and they said that they didn't have fluid in their lungs, and here, take this and go home and sleep it off. And then they did, and they were okay. There's a very good chance that they had an early version of COVID, because nobody has been able to trace exactly where and when this thing started. Got a gallbladder attack. Ooh. Oh no. I hope everything worked out well and you didn't have a lot of complications. Gallbladders and appendixes, man. You don't know that they're there until they don't want to be there no more. They make it known. Never forget, my dad had his gallbladder removed and the doctor came out after the surgery and he's like, he's fine. Procedure went very smoothly. We took it right out through his belly button. And I was like, what? I was a kid at the time, but that's always the line that stuck with me. They just took it right out through his belly button. Okay. Heck if I know. Everything is fine. Excellent. Good news. Good news. Guys, look at how nice the sock's coming out. Let's do a glamour shot. Here we go. Look at that beauty. Let me turn the lighting down just a smidge. A little less glare. There we go. That's a little nicer. Makes me a little dark, but it's nice for the knitting. Look at that. Look at all those bits of pink. Nice blue section right here. It's all marly, delicious. So nice. Yes. Your gallbladder makes your blood sugar spike. Oh. It makes, now that you say it, it makes sense. So, like, I never thought of that. Thanks, Knitter Girl. I am really impressed with myself. I was asking that question to everyone while I was spinning it. I was like, have you guys ever had this thought of, like, I have never made anything this nice that actually turned out the way I wanted it to? To some of my best work. I'm very proud of it. Or as my husband said, you're getting really good at this thing. Thanks, hon. Done for you. There's still a couple of sections that have a little bit of thick and thin, but overall my consistency turned out real nice on these socks. And I absolutely love the marl going on here. Love disaster movies. What I do not love is a combination of disaster and alien movies. Why am I watching this movie? Are you watching Independence Day? And then the answer would be because it's an American tradition. Nope. What movie are you watching? Are you watching The Tomorrow War? I knew it. My husband and I were laughing because I assume I know what the general premise of this movie is, but I don't technically know what this movie is about because every preview I have seen on Twitch only has random quips, has it, what it'll do is like, so and so says it's breathtaking, and then there'll be like a tiny little quip after that, and it's only what other people think in the movie and snarky half sentences. I'm like, I don't actually technically know what this movie is about. It looks like aliens. You're only watching because of Yvonne? Yeah. Sarah. Sarah from Chuck's in it. Oh, Yvonne. I love Yvonne. Sarah from Chuck. It's okay, I won't watch it again. That's fair. Everyone should just watch Chuck instead. It's so good. She's also the voice of Miranda from Mass Effect? I did not know that. Chuck is amazing! I love Zachary Levi. So stinking much. I also love him as Flynn from Tangled. Flynn Rider. I especially liked him in Shazam. I was prepared to hate it. I actually really liked that movie. You have all 5 seasons? Girl. I think we have all. I've seen it all. I have definitely seen the entire show. I can't remember if I physically have season 1 through 4 or season 1 through 5 on DVD. Old school. But every Christmas, I would ask for it. I'd get 1 more season. All on DVD. Yes. Chuck and Psych were the 2 TV shows I grew up with. Hard. Loving so hard. Love me some Psych. I have a little tiny blue Ford Fiesta, and we call it the Blueberry. Hans Pineapple! Are you not a fan of delicious flavor? I like Pratt enough, but she's the reason. I saw her in, like, flash a smile in the helicopter, I think. And then I saw Chris Pratt and a girl on the couch, and I watched that trailer like 6 times, and I was like, man, that's not Sarah on the couch. That's not her. Who's this other wench? Pineapple tries to eat you. It does. It fights back. It's very rude. It is his wife? It does not look like her on the couch. Or the girl on the couch is his wife? Is that what you mean? I assume that because he's there with the kids. When I found out Chris Pratt was not married to Yvonne, I was infinitely less excited about it. So mad at the end. Why? I wasn't a fan. I kind of understood it. I can't say it without just ruining everything, though. It's the same way that I felt about the ending of Chuck was the same way I felt about the ending of How I Met Your Mother. I was like, but just wasn't this all a waste of time? Huh? Shrugs. Just watch all of it except the last 2 episodes. You'll be fine. I was so mad at the end of those that I didn't watch the last 2 episodes of Chuck for the longest. No. I was so mad at the ending of How I Met Your Mother and Chuck that I didn't watch the last 2 episodes and then the movie of Psych for the longest time because I was worried it would be ruined. And then my sister was like, it's time. Let's go. And that one ended fine. That one was okay. It was safe. That's fair. Especially when you invest so much time and you love it, and then you're like, but, ugh. Just, ugh. It's not what I wanted. Let's put it that way. It's not how it was supposed to go. Anyway. How about them aliens? You know what movie sucked? Aliens versus Cowboys. I did not understand that movie at all. It was supposed to be so good. Cowboys versus Aliens, whatever it was called. It was supposed to be much better. It sucked. Hats. That was the dumbest movie ever. Yeah, I was real excited until I actually had to see it. And then I was like, this is trash. Trash movie. I think it's called Cowboys versus Aliens. Aliens versus Cowboys? Aliens versus Cowboys. Cowboys versus Aliens? Wait, which alien movie did you love, Huntress? Which one did you like? Cowboys and Aliens. Cowboys and Aliens? What it's called? I loved War of the Worlds. I actually thought it was one of the best remakes of the book I had seen, possibly ever. I really liked it. I can type, I swear. I think you should just despite him. Cowboys and Aliens, I am told by Wikipedia. This one. Hot trash. Do not watch. Very disappoint. Is Elsa a hurricane now? I haven't checked. She was a tropical storm when we started stream. Let's look. Oh, she's a hurricane. She graduated. Congrats, lady. She's off the coast of Cape Coral. She's weaving a little too close. Let's look at her. Let's take a look at her. Your map will load. Here we go. Boop. Hudson Hawk? I have not seen that one. I'll have to take a look. And if we're gonna talk trash movies, there are a lot of trash movies I like that I should not. But I actually like War of the Worlds. I thought it was really well done. I thought it was a very fun spin on man with child trying to find wife instead of man trying to find wife and children. That's not how time travel works. Oh, geez. Everyone's got rules for a thing that doesn't exist. Yeah, it's not real. When time travel becomes invented and there are actual factual rules, then we can all agree on them. In the meanwhile, whatever you want it to be. Oh, we just got a weather warning that we're going to have heavy rain from 9 p.m. tonight to 9 p.m. tomorrow. Yeah. Thanks, Weather Channel. I knew that. But you can't change the future by changing the past. That's an alternate timeline. Tell Loki that. Every time Loki gets kind of questionable and I think I'm gonna hate it, it gets real interesting all of a sudden. All of a sudden. I'm like, I don't know. Okay, I'm hooked. Wait, what? I don't think this is gonna work. Uh-huh, go on. It's all blue. I should name this a Sleeping Beauty sock. Make it pink. Now make it blue. Prime Directive has a thing about time travel. Does it? I am not a Star Trek fan. I could not tell you. Oh, First Contact. All right. I roughly know. Makes more sense to me. Ish, I think. Back in time to encourage the father of the warp drive. Oh, yes. Without him, starships wouldn't exist, so it does work. Yes. And then runs off into a million episodes after that. To a million different directions. Which I'm not mad about, actually. I am mad about it. Off and running. Have a good evening. Good night, Chem Man. Enjoy. It was lovely getting to chat with you. Let's see, how long have we been going? We've been going for 3 hours. We'll go a little bit longer. Probably another 20 or 30 minutes. I was gonna take a break, and then I was like, nah, I'll just go longer and then stop. Also, once the rain starts up is when our internet shall be questionable. I don't think we're supposed to get a lot of thunderstorms until later tonight when more of the bands reach us. All the outer bands are just rain. It's when it gets closer, it'll be more thunderstormy. Dear Weather Channel, I get it. I'm very mad at their phone alerts. They keep sending me all the doom and gloom stuff, and I'm like, but I don't want it. Look at this terrible thing that happened. No, thank you. Let's not. Eye on the prize, Weather Channel. Eye on the prize. She's just out there spinning, doing her thing. It's gonna be fine. I really enjoyed one of my work meetings earlier because we were all trash talking Elsa. Grr, she ain't gonna be good enough to become a hurricane. She's just out there be lost, wandering around like some dumb blonde chick at the mall. She can't even find the pretzel cart. It's very fun. It should not have been so fun, but it was very fun. You say that? I do say that. I think I get to say that. That it's day after tomorrow Redux. Not yet. Talking about trash movies that I shouldn't like, but I do, the day after tomorrow. I don't know why I like that movie. It's terrible. But I do like that movie. Don't you dare. I told you, it's a trash movie. It's terrible. The acting, so bad. The writing, the worst. Why do I like it so much? I don't know. It is not a trash movie. So terrible. Also likes it. Here we go. In order, reasons you're wrong. Number 10. Oh, so good. It is, but it's such a good trash movie. Rate it. It was definitely a product of its time in a way that no one else will understand unless you lived it. Can confirm. There were very good pieces of it. Like I really enjoyed the glimpses of other people in other places and how they prepared. Like the two, like Ian Holm and the soccer guy at like the, what was it, the last weather station at the end of the earth. I loved their little mini arc. Just trash. It's not hot garbage, just trash. Is the best is the best logic. I love it. That tracks. San Andreas gets a 9 because The Rock. The only reason that movie was good was because of The Rock. Everything else, I was like, what is even, why? And I remember because we watched that one on our honeymoon because we rented a house in the Keys for our honeymoon and it had like super cable. It had every movie ever. And I was like, this TV is worth it alone. Part of me is like, I should get out the weather radio tonight. And the other part of me is like, I did not want to have to hear about all that. How about the classic Twister? Twister is a great trash movie. I was obsessed with that movie as a kid. It's not even a trash movie. It's an okay movie. It's okay. It's great. And it's okay. It's not good, but I like it. It's the 90s. It is the 90s in a tornado time capsule. With the strangest accent Carrie has ever used. Into the Storm, I did not see that one. For reasons. I could tell hot garbage. Feel it coming. You want to know what the worst movie I've ever seen is? Ever? The worst movie I have ever seen. The movie I am the most upset that I will never get that time back. Gangs of New York. It's the worst movie I've ever seen. Don't. It's so bad. Dante's Peak, I have not technically seen it. That's one of those movies. Also, kids will not get this. You know when like you when you haven't seen it, but you've caught enough pieces flipping through television that you feel like you've seen it? Like I've seen 80% of that movie. I'm pretty sure. Have I ever sat down and watched it start to finish? No. No, I have not. Volcano? No. Hi, Pearl. Just tail me in the face? That's rude. Do you like the smell of this yarn? This cat loves this yarn. Pearl. This is mine. It's not kitty time. Hi. Should we zoom out so you can get all your girth? Look at this cat. Nice tail. That didn't sound like Twilight. No, Gangs of New York was worse than Twilight. Also, if you've never, does anyone know what Riff Tracks is? Riff Tracks is one of the best inventions. It's the guys who did Mystery Science Theater 3000, but instead of doing it like a show with the people in the front row and like weird B movies, they do it's the same three guys as themselves watching current movies. They did and what you do is you go online. It's Rifftrax, RIFFTRAX.com, and you go online and you download it, and it's anywhere. It's usually like $5 or $6 for the audio track. And so what you do is you like, in the old days, you used to have to like get out the laptop and sync it up to the DVD. Nowadays, you just kind of do it on your phone. Or maybe at the same time, I don't know. But what you do is, so you'd play the movie and then you'd play the thing, and there would be like lines to make sure that you're in sync. And then you just hear them talking over the movie, doing a Mystery Science Theater 3000 for the movie. And they did it for the Twilight series. And it's one of my favorite things. Do I like Twilight? Hell nah. Do I like Riff Tracks Twilight? Yeah, I do. They also did it for Harry Potter. Makes Harry Potter so much better. Mad at the movies that they're not as good as the books? Fixed it. Would you like some bubble yum? Sit down, have some plaid. It's so good. 10 out of 10 would recommend. And they do it with, well, I don't know if they are currently doing it, but they did it with like every major movie for a while. So like they did it for all the Star Wars movies, and they did it for all the Lord of the Rings movies, and they did it for all the Superman movies and all the Hulk movies. I'm sure they did it for like Avengers. It's delightful. I haven't looked at it in a while. I should. Maybe our next movie day will be a Riff Tracks. Just found out why Yvonne's character isn't his wife. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I'm already not going to watch this. I'm not invested. Maybe our next movie night on the Discord will be a Riff Tracks. it would have to be a DVD. If I re-downloaded iTunes, or I could use Firefox, and yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Rifftrax has an alien connection. They have everything, and I love them. Maybe our next movie in the Discord will be a Rifftrax movie. I'll have to see what I own and or what I can procure from the internet. I'll look and see what I have already downloaded, and maybe we'll do a poll. I'm intrigued. Also, for those of you who don't know, this is Pearl. P-U-R-R-L. She's a mama's girl. Pearl, say hi with your face. Come here. Say hi with your face. Say hello. I like getting my nose rubbed. Is this your way of telling me it's couch time? This cat knows. After the stream, I go sit in my crafty armchair over here in the corner, and she lays like a big warm turd in my lap, and it's delightful. Snuggles, Mom! Yeah, she knows. She knows it's time. They have Double Dragon. That movie was already bad enough. I guarantee you it's about to get better, because it can't get any worse. That's usually how that goes. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do it. We're gonna go ahead and end the stream because cat. Because the cat has demanded. Yeah. Yeah, you. Being needy with that tail. Say hi. Say hi to everybody. Here, rub your face on my phone. It's your favorite thing to do. But you gotta do it in front of the camera. I like to rub my face on it. Yum, 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 yum. Don't eat it! Happy? You happy now? All you get. Nope, that's mine. Thank you. So proud of yourself. Dies mine. I have marked deet. Smell like me now. Huntress, how do you know what my cat's saying? Because you're spot on so far. You are spot on. So we're going to call it a night because cat. But we're going to go raid our very good friend Hinka Knits, who is doing embroidery. And she's practicing different stitches by making little tiny inappropriate embroidery figures, and it's adorable. Not safe for kids. However, Hinka is adorable, so you're gonna love her. A+ on her sock, guys. I had to put this away. The cat will eat the yarn. Excuse me.